Good morning, everybody. Long time no talk, I suppose. So we're in the barn doing barn chores. Good morning, Teeny. Good morning, Athena. You gonna say hello? I don't have anything. In the barn doing barn chores, and I made a video last week, and then I threw out my back. And I was down for a couple days. You know, not down where I didn't come to the barn. I mean, I came down, I did my chores, but it took so much out of me. I was just exhausted for a couple days. My back is feeling a bit better.
Hello.
There's Harley. And I also fixed the microphone issue, I hope. I got a new microphone, so we should be set with that. The day I threw my back out was the day I did this project. So these pens are new, and Scotty, right there, the little white one, she is now weaned from her mom, and Danny's over here because, number one, Danny's savage with the others and will make them stand out in the rain and snow, and also because she's going to kid soonish. I'm thinking we're looking at Christmas kids. Just a guess. I could be off. Thank you. I could be off, so... Huh? Oh. Look, Duckles.
Get it off of me. Ah, she hurts.
Come on. Death layers.
That hurts.
They're flighty little birds. She wanted to show you the Duckles. Those are our favorite chickens. They are small, but they have like the best personalities of any birds that you'll ever meet. Isn't that right? Want to say hello? Okay. All right, I gotta go feed something else that has transpired since I saw you guys last is Miss Bridget had an abscess on her cheek. So it was most likely from getting a splinter of some sort, and it finally popped. So I'll show you a little bit of what I'm treating it with. So I'm fortunate enough to have family and friends that are nurses, and some of you may not know if you've never dealt with nursing supplies. I actually used to be the central supply person for a 130-bed nursing home. So when you get supplies, even if there's something like gauze pads, they have an expiration date. And no matter how many you have, when you've reached that expiration date and you work in a facility, or if you're an at-home nurse, like a traveling nurse or wherever, you have to dispose of it. So a lot of times what people will do is try to find somebody that they know will benefit from these expired things, because they're not bad. They're just not able to be used in the healthcare setting anymore. So I actually have some collections of some things that have been given to me by friends and family that, again, work in nursing in some capacity. And so what I have here is just an ABD pad, an ab pad, we call them. And this is basically just to absorb anything that I'm either getting secreted out of that wound or just like the extra saline. This is a saline flush, and I like these. These are like what you would flush an IV with, but I like these. There's no needle on it. I like these because you can get it directly into a wound, and then you can flush it out that way. So I use that. I use this ABD pad, like I said, just to kind of collect everything. And you can see the wound here. It's actually looking much better. It's maybe half the size that it was. And I believe I got all of the goop out. We'll just call it that because some people have weak stomachs. Okay. And while I'm not a nurse, I was a CNA. So I have a lot of knowledge working with nurses that were in wound care. So I'm pretty confident in my wound treating abilities. I always said if I ever went to nursing school, it would be for wounds, because I thought it was pretty fascinating. So this is one thing I'm confident about. I also have some Dermagran. It's a wound cleaner. It has zinc in it, which is important. It also has like B6. So after I flush it with the saline, I'll spray a little bit of this in here, and then Had a family member that had a wound on their foot, and the doctor prescribed some things, and I was dressing it, but when the wound was completely good and cleaned up and done, and they had just a wee bit of silver sulfadiazine. So I'm just top dressing it with that. I'm leaving it open so that it can drain. So I'll show you how we do this. We put her up in the milking stanchion. Okay.
Look at this.
And I just basically get everything prepped. Don't mess with that. Don't mess with that. She's a really good patient. Now, I'm not saying that this is how a vet would treat this, but again, and I've said this in many videos, I no longer have a large animal vet. So now it's Dr. Kira that gets to take care of all of these things. Fortunately, wounds are something I'm 100% confident on. I'll also give you an update on Tear here in a minute. It's always something. But here, let's jack you guys up a little bit so that you can see kind of what I'm doing. So basically, she already knows what's going to happen because we've been doing this for a couple days now. Take the lid off. And I just kind of going to get her in a bit of a headlock. But she already knows. She's a real good girl. She already tilted her head. I'm just going to take this and kind of stick it in that wound as best I can. Because what you want to do is flush all the nasties out of there. Give it a little squeeze while we're doing it. You're fine. Take this, spray a little bit of that in that hole. Now what you don't want to do is have it heal up. You want it to heal from the inside out. Because if the outside heals and the inside doesn't have all the infection out, it will just rupture again and again and again and get worse and worse and worse, and you'll never heal it. So keeping it open and flushed is vital. And we're just going to take the silver sulfadiazine. Stop. It's got a little bit of secretions coming out, so that's good. And then we're just going to put this on there. And that's that. The ointment will keep it moist on the outside so that, again, you don't want it to close. You want it to stay open. And then we just throw away these things. And I've just been keeping this stuff in my pocket because that's a reused item. And that's it. Disposable. I'll show them the turkey in a minute. But that's it. And she's healing up. Like I said, it's about half the size that it was. I'm pretty much sure that she had a splinter in there with the way that it broke open and everything. So we're just going to heal her up and take care of her. Most of that you see sticking out is hair. But like I said, the whole side of her face was pretty swollen there for a minute. Chase wants to show you his turkey. That turkey's had more screen time than anybody else. It is the friendliest dang on thing. Okay, I am going to take the blankets off the horses and we're going to put them out. And then I'll catch back up to show you how Tear's doing. Okay, I wanted to show you guys Tear. He is uncasted now.
What are you
doing? Hey, Mr. Man. He has got his little cast off and he's doing well. And he's only with the big girls because I weaned Scotty. Otherwise, he's going to be in that pen next to Danny. But you can see he's walking well. He's still a little bit tender on it. It's this back leg right here. Still a little tender on it, but there's no limp. So that's good. And he's relatively safe in here with these ladies.
Kind of.
Yeah. Pretty happy with the results of that. So that's a win. Now we got to go fluff the cow's hay. Oh, I got to give the sheep water.
Yeah.
So I need a bucket for that. Unless I can just use this barrel. Let's see. It's so muddy. We're in this. It's almost like spring right now because it freezes and then thaws and rains and freezes and then thaws and rains, and it's just this vicious cycle of up down, where fall is trying to hold on to its last little bits of warmth and rain before winter really kicks in. Although I'm not entirely sure we're going to get a really solid winter this year. We haven't had one in a few years. I don't think this is going to be any different, but I will show you how well their hay system is working out. This is still the bale I gave them not that long ago, so they really are enjoying their round bale feeder. I'm really happy that I did it because that's one less hay chore I have to do. Hey cows, coming to fluff the hay. You're almost ready for your bales. Yeah. Hi, Rebby. Oh my goodness, you're real cute. Tony.
Hey, Tom down.
Mr. T. Ladies. All right, I fluffed it up. There's still so much hay here. I gave them these 2 bales. It'll be 2 weeks this coming Saturday. Now we're not going to make it to that, but these 2 bales are lasting a solid 10 days, which is pretty good. So, and I gave them, let's see, and if I do have a holder for it, but it doesn't matter because they'll just throw it down the hill. I gave them a high magnesium block. That way they get all the things that they need, you know, that's missing because there's no fresh pasture or anything like that. So they got that yesterday. They've been quite happy with it. When you give your animals the vitamins and minerals they need, it allows them to more efficiently digest the food that you are giving them. So that's also very important to make sure they have minerals. Now, a lot of people like to do a mineral buffet. I think that's wonderful. And eventually I would like to build one of those so that I can use that for the cows and of course the sheep. I have been considering revamping the cow herd, right? Mm-hmm. So when we got our cows, here, let me put you down. We'll have a little talksy talk. When we got our cows, we knew that we wanted a dairy cow for the family. And we wanted a source of beef. That was our plan, our goal. And so we were getting bottle calves up the auction before they were $700 a calf, which is mind-boggling to me. But anyways, we got them because they were inexpensive. And the ones that we picked, we were pretty confident were half beef, half dairy, which I believe Tony is, and definitely Hazelnut is, but Mocha's full dairy, which is fine, and I'm not upset with that. But we got Tony, again, at auction. I'm going to circle back to this, as a bottle calf. And then we got Rebel. And Rebel is out of really great stock. He's a Highland, and we absolutely love him. But our cows are like, there's no point to our breeding program other than milk and meat, which seems like the sensible choice, right? But what we do here is we want a grass-fed and grass-finished product. So what does that mean? That means that not every cow is going to actually thrive in that situation. And when you go to an auction, you can't control what the quality of the animal is, and a lot of times the quality of the animal isn't going to be that good. So what we think is that Tony may be a cross that we don't know. So maybe he's like a Dexter cross. He's not grown very much, or maybe he's kind of on the inbred side, which is a possibility because he just hasn't grown or beefed up like he should. We thought he was Angus Holstein, and he should be quite large if that's the case. And Rebel, while he's beautiful, he's still quite short, and our cows are quite tall, and they aren't appearing pregnant. Now that could change, and I could be wrong. I should just do a blood test, is what I should do, is order a blood test. And what you do is you draw blood from the base of the tail, and you can do your own pregnancy test and see if they're pregnant. And I should do that before I make any decisions. But my thought was possibly, and this is just me throwing ideas out there, being as how we want to do a grass grazing operation, but I still do want a dairy cow. My thought was to get some, just 2, possibly milking Devons, just 2 of them. And then I would like to actually just buy sexed semen, which is, you can buy that to artificially inseminate them. And those that don't know, you can actually choose to buy a sexed semen, which means you get to choose, do you want a bull calf or do you want a heifer calf? In my case, I would want bull calves because I'd want to steer them and raise them out for the freezer. What I like about milking Devons is they do give a good quality milk, but they're also kind of beefy in stature, not like a Jersey or a Holstein or Guernsey or whatever that is going to be more bony and hippie, and they just don't put on a lot of meat on the carcass, which is fine because they put all their energy into milk production. But a milking Devon's a little bit different. You can also use them as oxen, which I think is cool. So they're really a tri-purpose breed. I was thinking about getting a couple of those, and then I could buy the sexed semen from something like South Pole, which is a breed that I'm really, really into. And what that would give us, because South Pole are known to, from start to finish, all on grass, and that's fantastic. And they have beautiful marbling. They're a composite breed. They have a lot of there's some Red Angus in there, Simmental, and then there's some breeds of cattle from the islands. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but they grow out about 1,000 pounds, maybe 1,100. So they're not a huge cow. We have small acreage. Not having a huge cow would be very, very smart. And breeding, because Devons aren't huge either, and breeding them on something that is 100% known to be grass finished. They perform better on grass. I mean, you can grain finish them if you want to, but the reason that breed was produced is because they were meant to be grown and finished on grass. So, and which is something that I should bring up, because when you go to the grocery store, now most farmers will know this, but a lot of you aren't farmers, so I feel that I should share this with you. When you go to the grocery store and you buy grass-fed beef, that means literally nothing, because grass-fed just means that they go outside for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 6 hours in a day, or 24 hours in a day. It doesn't mean that they don't get grain. It just means that they get to eat grass. It actually could even mean that they don't even go outside, because there's machines that just cut down the hay and then they bring it in and they just pour it into the troughs, and they're eating fresh green grass, but they've never actually gone outside. So just so you know, when you're buying grass-fed, what you want is grass-fed and grass-finished, or, you know, buy it from your local farmer, and you can say, hey, how are your cows raised? That's probably the best thing to do, in my opinion, because then you're supporting your local farms, and you know what they're being fed because you can see it with your own eyes. Just my opinion. Anyhow, I kind of got off on a tangent here, but this is just my ideas. I'm thinking about possibly selling the herd. Like I said, I should probably do a pregnancy test first, just to make sure that they're not bred, because our girls are so very sweet. They really, really are. We raised them, you know, from the bottle, from day one. So, but I'm thinking that potentially Tony and Rebel will go. Mr. T's gonna stay because he's designated for freezer camp anyway.
He also hasn't grown.
Yeah, he's not, but he's also 100% Jersey, and I feel like we're doing the grass finishing operation, so he's growing much slower.
Yeah, but Luca's Jersey.
Yeah, and it took her 3 years to get that big. He's only 1.5 years. Yeah. When you know, it's not to say that you can't feed out certain breeds all on grass, but what it means is you need a lot more grass and a lot more time. So you can choose to go with something that's much more efficient on grass and smaller frame, and they're going to perform better. So these are conversations that we have and we go over, because I don't want to grain my cattle if I don't have to. I don't personally like that, and it's also an extra cost, a huge extra cost, because if you start grain feeding them, they eat a lot. It's like the pigs. That's why I got out of raising breeder pigs, is because of the cost of the grain to keep them. We're trying to be more economical. Now, I am hoping to be able to still get feeder pigs, and I have a friend that still has breeding stock from my uncle or similar breeding stock, so I'll get the cross that I love. And it's funny because you remember when we first got that cross and Daddy was like, there's no difference, no difference. And now he's experienced the difference. Because when I first tasted the Mangalitsa Berkshire cross, I was like, this is it. This is the creme de la creme of pig. And he was like, oh, there's no difference. And then we brought home, you know, like some York or whatever, Yorkshire. And he was like, this is awful. What is this? It's not that it's awful. It's just once you've had that cross.
Very flavorful.
Oh, there's nothing like it. It's good.
Geese.
Anyways. Oh yeah, geese. Anyhow, I got off on a tangent. But that's okay. That's what we do here. But I'm just kind of talking it out. So what do you guys think? I know Rebel I love him to pieces. I've always wanted to have Highland cows.
I love Tony to pieces.
I know you love Tony to pieces. So it's not a choice that's easily made. But sometimes being on a farm, you have to make choices that are not easy to make. And when you're looking at your bottom line and ease of filling your freezer with good product,
Kit got a mouse.
you know, these are the decisions you have to make. One thing is for certain. One thing is for certain.
Kit got a mouse?
Yes.
He's rolling on it?
Kitty got a mouse, that's certain. But also, one thing that is for sure is that the sheep flock will grow and the goat herd will also grow because we have that unlimited goat glitch. And Jeff doesn't like goats, and he didn't want us to have more goats, but agreed to let us have a third unrelated buck. And I told him I won't buy any more goats if he let me have that buck, and he was happy with that. So we'll just let him be happy with that. I don't have to buy any more goats. They just regenerate. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I got some running around to do. I am sorry that I have missed you for a few days. Life is tough. Sometimes injuries happen, and it's the holiday season. Spending time with family is important, and working hard to make the money to buy the things is also important. So I should be on for the foreseeable future. Also, I hope that my sound quality is improved tenfold, and I'm hoping that I can figure something out for the picture quality, although it's not so bad today, so I don't know what's going on with my phone. My phone's just temperamental, I suppose. Must be a woman. All right, guys. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.